welcome to another Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition battle report, except this one is a little bit different. It's not a battle, but it's actually a arena of death. We've decided to create teams of heroes, up to 600 points, and we've got a total of 8 different teams of different races, and we're going to face them off against each other. Here is the arena, and the teams are all assembled around the edge, ready to start fighting. And we're going to roll off to see what team we get, and it will proceed as a knockout tournament through all the 8 teams. So the Skaven have just moved up, didn't cast anything, didn't manage to get any spells through, and the weapons that I've got are move or fire, so I'm just advancing towards the Dwarfs. And then the Dwarfs, in their first turn, have advanced in a sort of spread out fashion, like so. Okay, so in Skaven turn, I advanced a little bit more, spread out some. What did I cast? Oh, I only got off Blessed with Filth on the Plague Priest.
Yeah, you cast Fireball with that guy with his ruby ring.
Fireball was dispelled. I did fire the Doom Rocket from this guy, and it hit the guy with Great Weapon. It wounded, and he only had a 5+ armor save, but he saved it. Onto Dwarf's turn 2. So Dwarfs then fired the Dwarf handgun at the Assassin, hit and wounded, but the Assassin dodged the bullet with his 4+ ward. These guys moved up a bit, and the Thane with a 1+ save charged my Plague Priest and massacred him basically over around 11 inches and ended up there. We're doing 360 line.
Is that almost twice as far as you can normally move?
Yeah, we're doing a 360 line of sight, so it doesn't matter which way he's facing, so he's there now. Right, so my turn. Okay, so it's the end of Skaven round 3. So what happened in this round, I scattered away from this guy who's got the 1+ save, toughness 6 and 3 wounds. Just scattered over here, cast the ruby ring on the Slayer, just rolled abysmally, I got like 4 1s, so I didn't cast anything, but my Assassin and Chieftain charged the Thane that was next to him with the Great Weapon, and the combined attacks managed to kill him, so they ran over to there. End of Dwarfs, round 3. The Thane is marching apparently, although he only moves 6 because also slow, back towards battle. This Warlock Engineer took a wound from the Dwarf handgun. The Slayer charged into the Assassin, rolled badly, didn't do any wounds, and suffered a wound in return. Right, end of Skaven, round 4. What's happened? I cast ruby rings, fireball on this guy, but didn't manage to do anything because he's ridiculously.
That's caused 2 wounds there. I say both of them.
Yeah. He's got 1+ save, but yeah, 2 wounds. Yeah, 2 6s. The Assassin finished off the Slayer. Took
a wound in return.
Yeah, took 1 wound. This guy, the Dwarf, took a wound, and the Chieftain didn't because he saved both of the wounds he took with his 5+ ward. Both of these guys also tried to they had like they had to roll like a 4 and a 6 or something for each one, and they both failed their charges. So they're in a nice line for this Dwarf Thane to overrun. Through. End of Skaven round 5. So basically, I didn't explain before. When you hit the board edge, if you flee, which he did, he failed to rally the first time. Hit a board edge. You roll on a chart
that we've created.
Yeah. On a 1, you're killed by the crowd. 2 to 4, you suffer a strength 4 hit. from the angry spectators. On the 5+, you rally. You can move, you can't march, you can shoot, cast spells, but you can't charge. If you're engaged in combat whilst you're on the edge, you can only hit your opponent on a 6. So he actually managed to rally, but he couldn't do anything. We couldn't charge.
Yeah,
I should have moved him really, and things like that. But the assassin managed to win combat against the Thane who was there. Thane rolled a 10 on his leadership test.
Quite frankly, stubborn.
Yeah, stubborn, but still rolled a 10, and fled and was caught. I've also positioned the cheap warlock engineer in front of this Thane so that he can't charge. Oh, well, he was going to charge that guy, but he's protecting the assassin as well.
Yeah.
Right, so it's Dwarfs round 5. So the Thane managed to kill the engineer pretty easily. He overran, but hit this impossible terrain. So basically, in the last turn, I tried to cast Ruby Ring on this guy and didn't cast it. He was very far away from my men, tried to charge and failed. So that's the end of that first battle. Skaven have won by quite a large margin, I think, as only the Thane is left. And Dwarfs are out. So Skaven go through to the next round, and we'll see what battle is up next. Okay, so it's Vampires versus Wood Elves, and Vampires got the first turn. So I'm using Wood Elves, Dan's using Vampires, and they all moved up. We've said that everyone can march, even if they're not within 12 inches of the Vampire, just because it's such a small battle. The Vampire cast Gaze of Nagash onto one of my guys who had Ruby Ring of Ruin. Easily killed him, but unfortunately got an irresistible force. Saved the wound himself, but did a wound to the White King and the Banshee. So Wood Elves turn 1 in retaliation. I kept these guys still to not get any minuses to hit. Use a Hail of Doom Arrow on the Vampire, but only caused 1 wound. But then this guy with Arcane Bodkins managed to finish off the Vampire. Branch Wraith just moved up there. That was it. The Bow of Lauren, we decided we couldn't work out whether it was magic attacks, and we think, from reading the rules on balance, I think it's probably not magical attack. It's a magic bow, but it explicitly can't use their magic arrows. So I couldn't shoot the wounded Banshee. I tried to shoot the White King, but didn't wound him. But with the Vampire gone, it's going to be pretty tough for the rest of this ragtag band now. So we'll just see how it plays out in the next few turns. So in Vampires round 2, they moved up behind here. Banshee was in range to scream at the Branch Wraith and rolled boxcars and easily killing the Branch Wraith. And I've just got these 3 men left now. My round 2, just moved over here and fired off a couple of magic arrows at the Cairn Wraiths, but didn't wound. Vampires then moved up their ethereals in front of my lines, and the Banshee tried to scream at this guy, but didn't roll very well. Okay, so my turn. The Ogre Blade guy charged and killed the Banshee, and the Great Stag captain charged the Wraith. Only did 1 wound. Only the Stag could do anything because it's a forest spirit. But yeah, did 1 wound. That didn't take any return and crumbled him. Only overran 6, so not into the White King. Okay, so in Vampires round 4, the White King charged the Stag. Didn't suffer any wounds. I managed to cause 1. I broke, got even on Stubborn Leadership 9, but I got away fortunately. This Wraith charged my guy who doesn't have any magic attacks, but missed with all of its attacks. And in my turn, this guy rallied, fired off a shot at the White King but didn't wound, and the Ogre Blade captain killed the Wraith. And finally the White King charged back into my captain on Stag, but it wasn't so lucky this time and died. So Wood Elves go through and vampires are out. It's Warriors versus Demons. Dan's using Warriors. We wanted to see this match back, so I'm glad that it worked out this way. He got first turn and moved everyone up. He's got a guy on Demonic Mount, he's quite fast. Got off a Lash spell. No, I think I dispelled the Lash spell from this guy. And in my first turn, these three have gone over here. These are like the combat characters. And then this guy flew over here on his disc. Cast Infernal Gateway against the Demonic Mount, but it was Dispel Scrolled. And in fact, I think this Warriors army is the only army that's got a Dispel Scroll. Is that right? Yeah. Right, so on to Warriors round 2. These guys advanced and cast
Cacophonic Choir.
Cacophonic Choir, which I dispelled with 6 dice.
Before, so.
And then Lash was cast on the Herald but didn't do anything. This guy charged my Herald of Nurgle, did a wound. I used my breath weapon, but he saved. I caused 1 wound with this strength 2 breath weapon. Saved it with his ward. What happened? I lost combat. I lost an attack as well because he's got the Warrior Bane, but I stuck around. So, end of Demons turn 2. This guy flew over here, cast Infernal Gateway on the Khorne dude, and got 8 strength 10 hits and just vaporised him. Over here I charged my other 2 heralds into the Exalted Hero Demonic Mount. Couldn't do any wounds to him. I only lost 1 wound on the Khorne guy in return, but had to take instability tests for everyone, and the Herald of Noble died. Warriors turn 3, this Sorcerer turned round and cast Cacophonic Choir onto the Tzeentch guy. Got, I think, 8
hits, only caused 1 wound, which he saved.
So it's 4+, and with 8 dice you got 1 4+. That's just abysmal. And then I think he
saved it.
Saved the wound. Over here though, this guy killed the Khorne Herald, so it's just the Slaanesh with strength 4 fighting a 1+ save guy.
So he had multiple wounds too?
Yeah, if the wound gets through, it's pretty good.
Because she's armor piercing strength 4. Because Slash can't armor piercing.
I think she just hasn't been hitting. Because it's like 5
plus to
hit him, 5+ to hit.
Yeah.
So it's my turn 3 now. So my turn, because I had random movement on this guy, I couldn't really move him very far. So I just tried to Infernal Gateway this Sorcerer. What happened with that? I dispelled it. I dispelled it with a force. And then you failed to cast Battle Change. Yeah, only did 6 against that. This guy killed this Slaanesh Herald quite easily and turned round. And in Warrior's turn, what's his turn 4?
Yeah.
The Sorcerer charged the Herald of Tzeentch, and because Cacophonic requires a Hex, cast that into combat and killed him.
With the irresistible force and killed him.
Yeah, quite easily. This guy had just moved up. So it's a pretty brutal victory for Warriors.
Yeah, probably the most brutal victory we've had so far, because they only lost 1 man.
Yeah, and this guy is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what can maybe stop him in the future. And they go through to the next round, and Demons are out. Okay, so up next is Dark Elves versus Beastmen. I'm using Beastmen, Dan's using Dark Elves. Dark Elves got first turn, moved up, Sorceress cast Doom Bolt, Irresistible Force, and killed the Bray Shaman.
And lost the spell in the result.
Lost that spell though, now level 1 wizard. Her only other spell is Power of Darkness, which is going to be useless for her. Because it will just give her +1 strength. And the Master, the Master moved round. My turn 1, so I've got no shooting, no magic, so I just moved up. Just got a Doom Ball and 2, what are they called? War Gauls?
War Gauls, yeah.
Right, so it's Dark Elves turn 2 now. So Dark Elves turn 2, the Sorceress is useless now, so it just moved away. The Death Hag, tried to charge the Gorgle but failed. 2 Masters moved up, and the Master on the Dark Steed with Cloak of Twilight charged the Gorgle and killed him in 1 round, doing 4 wounds because he gets D3 wounds from the Cloak of Twilight. Yet even the Gorble's 1+ save couldn't rescue him. So it's going to be a pretty quick battle, I think, the quickest one so far. I had to take out this Master, obviously, because he's only really got many charges. So both of the Wargors charged into him, and both passed their Primal Fury Hatred, so 6 strength 6 attacks. Got 3 wounds through, but he's got 1+ save, and he rolled and saved all of them. So now all of these elves are going to come against the Wargors. Okay, so Dark Elves charged everyone in, killed one of the Wargors. I guess must have done pretty badly actually, because one of the Wargors is still left with 1 wound.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't attack with your steed. Do you want to just do that now?
I did attack with steed.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1 Wargor, and I did a wound to this Master. 1 wound remaining, and I stuck. So it's pretty much a foregone conclusion, but we'll just play out, see if I can get some luck. And the Master with the Ogre Blade predictably butchered the Wargor. So that's the quickest game so far, and also the first battle with a side to win and take no casualties. Yeah, pretty decisive for the Dark Elves. I think the Beastmen were mostly scary because of the Shaman with his ridiculously good spells.
Yeah, and the Gorble, but
yeah, so losing him straight away should maybe have put him behind the Gorble or something. Yeah. Right, so Dark Elves go through. Beastmen are out. Okay, so it's Dark Elves versus Warriors now. I'm using Dark Elves. Dan is using Warriors, and I got the first turn. I'm out of range to cast Doom Bolt, so I've just moved up with the Master on Dark Steed around there as well. So Warriors in their first turn tried to stay a good distance away from the Master, move around here, cast Lash of Slaanesh onto the Death Hag, but didn't wound. Dark Elves turn 2, I'm sort of moving round behind them now and avoiding the charge of this guy. So my Death Hag and Master without any magic weapon are there. The Sorceress was 18 inches away from this Sorcerer cast Doom Bolt, but it was Dispel Scrolled. I've got my Ogre Blade guy and the Master there. So Warriors, this guy on the Demonic Steed, I hadn't really seen that he could actually get off a charge against a Sorceress and wasn't that far away, and needed 1 wheel to get there, just around this terrain. So he made it and easily killed one over around to there. He's actually 18 inches away from my Master, so got a good overrun. In Magic, so this guy, Sorcerer cast Cacophonic Choir on the Death Hag. 6 hits, only needs 2 4+s to kill them, and got 6 dice, got no.
And then suffered a wound.
nothing, and suffered a wound. So he's done terrible with Cacophonic Choir so far today.
Well, no, he did kill this guy at the end with it.
Okay, but that's 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3, yeah.
Okay, so Dark Elves turn 3. Okay, my turn. I charged my master on the Dark Steed and my other guy with just as a hand weapon, 1+ save, and but nothing too crazy. Into the Corn guy, who has an always strikes first sword, I presume. Is that what he has? Or?
He's got how many eyes?
How many eyes and Sword of Might, so it's from the 6. So we struck at the same time. He killed my master on Dark Steed, and with my attacks, I don't get rerolls. I roll 3 ones to hit.
With the first guy, and then you didn't hit the second guy either.
And well, no, the second guy hit with all his 3 attacks, but
right.
He didn't wound me.
Yeah.
So I did nothing. I stuck, but I've lost my master on Dark Steed, who I really needed. I think he's the only thing now that could kill that guy.
This guy potentially could, but...
Yeah, Ogre Blade, maybe. But Warriors turn 3, is that right?
Yep.
This guy is going around cacophonic choiring people.
Like a boss.
And he's killed my Ogre Blade guy, so quite easily killed him in cacophonic choir, making up slightly for his bad luck earlier.
Yeah. 8 of all on his attribute as well, actually. Doesn't get it, doesn't matter.
This guy killed my master in combat.
Yeah,
I don't know why I've got a master with like just a hand weapon. Stupid.
You took him a halberd because he didn't even use cheek.
I think I just wanted the shield so he could get a 1+ save.
Oh yeah, okay, the shield with 1+ save. Yeah.
But it wasn't enough because he's strength 6. So now I've just got my Death Hag left, who we realised had moved too far in the previous turn because she had random movements. We've moved it back a bit, but it's just the hag against these 3. Okay, so my Death Hag tried to charge on the sorcerer, failed, and then ran, and then basically a living wall of death and metal. Just smashed into her and obliterated her. Just.
Yeah, so Chaos have done it.
Chaos is the second arm to go through a round unscathed, and it looks like Chaos are pretty unstoppable at this stage.
Did this have any wins last time?
Yeah, I killed him.
Yeah, with in front of
Gateway. But Chaos are looking
quite scary.
Okay, so it's Wood Elves versus Skaven. I got Skaven, which probably is not what I would have preferred. In Wood Elves' first turn, however, they didn't really do anything. They sort of advanced up, but they didn't wound with any of their shots that hit. Skaven, turn 1. I have this guy in place to cast Ruby Ring onto the stag. I cast a spell. That's my roll, and this is my opponent's dispel roll. It's exactly the same. It's pretty freaky. So it wasn't cast obviously because my opponent gets a +2 to the spell because it's a bound spell. So I've just got my Warp Musket and Doom Rocket to fire at him now. So the Doom Rocket only rolled half of its intended range and did nothing. War Musket hit and wounded, but he saved with his armour save. Wood Elf saved something with an armour save. He's got a 3+ armour save, so it was down to... What did you roll?
6.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it's strength 5 armour piercing, isn't it? But you still saved it. Wood Elf's turn 2. The captain on the stag, Hail of Doom arrowed the Plague Priest, and did 1 wound there. The Branch Wraith, which is actually the Drycha model, charged my good or the best chieftain who had a 5+ ward and a halberd, and killed him. What else happened? Ruby Ring or something. Magic phase. Ruby Ring took a wound off the assassin.
Yeah, and
the
other shooting just caused a wound on that.
Yeah, so I've got 4 wounded rats. And very little idea of what to do. My turn 2. These guys are hiding behind a rock.
Typical Skaven fashion.
This guy moved around to cast Ruby Ring of Ruin at the stag, but I think it got through, but didn't manage to wound. I charged the assassin and the plague priest both into the branch wraith. They killed the branch wraith and overran.
The assassin did, yeah.
Yeah, the assassin quite easily killed him. Overran all the way over there, which is good because it's a long way from him. That's how it looks. So it's now turn 3. In the Wood Elves turn 3, just ineffectual all over. This guy moved round, shot, didn't wound. All these guys shot the assassin, didn't wound.
He missed him. Shot, fired Ruby Ring, miscast, so it's now destroyed, and didn't wound him.
Didn't wound him. No, wounded him once and
he saved it, yeah.
Skaven still got... I wouldn't say an uphill struggle so much as a sheer vertical
cliff to climb.
So Skaven turn 3, my assassin got off a charge onto the Glade Captain who didn't have any close combat stuff, killed him, overran into this guy with the Ogre Blade. The Plague Priest cast his breath weapon, like breath template spell.
And caused wound on that guy.
Which did the wound to the Plague guy. Yep. Failed to wound him.
I dispelled Ruby Ring.
Dispelled Ruby Ring on him. I charged my halberd wielding chieftain into the stag, did 2 wounds to him.
Only died from stomp as well.
And then died to the stomp from the stag. That's pretty mental, but he's severely weakened now.
Yeah.
So actually, it's looking...
Yeah, you've got Ruby Ring here, you've got...
Ruby Ring and a war musket.
And a war musket, yeah.
It's all changed. He's not too bad in combat either. He's toughness 5 and a flail.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wood Elves turn 4. Wood Elves turn 4, the stag captain came round and fired at the wounded warlock engineer and killed him. This guy shot at the... Did he shoot the plague priest?
Didn't hit.
Didn't do anything, yeah. And then over here, where the combat was going on between the Ogre Blade captain and the assassin, they killed each other.
So they literally went against each other attacking at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all changed by the look of it.
Yeah, it's not what we expected.
So Skaven turn 4?
4, yeah.
4. The Plague Priest got off a charge against the chieftain.
Yeah, the Plague against the Blade Captain.
Yeah.
Didn't
couple of hits, no wounds, and then 1 hit from the Plague Priest, but strength 6 with the flail, so killed him, took his last wound. And over here, this guy got irresistible Ruby Ring off on the stag. 1 wound, failed to save it, and dead. So Skaven actually...
The surprise package.
Yeah. Neither of us thought that Skaven stood a chance against Wood Elves, really. So they're through to the final against...
against the Warriors.
Against Warriors. But as Dan just pointed out, Skaven did do a number on Dwarfs who are very heavily armoured. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So Skaven go through, Wood Elves are out. Okay, so Skaven versus Warriors in the final. We rolled off to see who would choose their side. Dan won the roll, and he surprisingly went for Warriors. So, Skaven.
For the first time, move like that, and cast Ruby Ring on him.
Did nothing. Warriors turn 1. Just moved up. This guy managed to just get in range to cast Cacophonic Choir on one of my warlocks, but he failed to cast it. So it looks like that. And on to Skaven turn 2. This guy cast Ruby Ring at the Sorcerer. What happened with that? It went through?
No, I dispelled
It
it.
was dispelled. He also fired his Warp Musket, actually hit wounded and wasn't saved.
Yeah.
Fired a Doom Rocket in between these two guys.
Just overshot
just,
right here.
Just overshot, yeah.
And that's it.
And all these guys coming around there. So Chaos turn 2, the Demonic Steed guy charged the Warp Musket engineer, killed him and overran like so. Obviously we just turned around because they've got 360 vision, so it doesn't matter. Cacophonic Choir killed the Plague Priest, and the Khorne dude killed the Chieftain, who's my best warrior after the Assassin. And he killed him like he was nothing and overran like so. So yeah, not looking too good for the Skaven. End of my turn 3, I charged both the Assassin and the Chieftain with the Halberd into the Khorne Exalted Hero. Assassin did nothing, and the Exalted Hero killed the Chieftain. Yeah, I moved this guy in a very tactical Skaven-esque way, I feel, in front of this Exalted Deep thing. Right, now it's a lot to play for. You know, there's an assassin.
I'm actually now going to roll on their other god, which I forgot to do every time.
Yeah, in fact, every match, every time. Yeah, do it. Okay, so it was end of Warriors turn 3. The Khorne guy killed the assassin, and
the Nurgle guy killed the engineer easily, so they wiped out the entire Skaven team.
Yeah, wiped out the entire lot. Only took a wound and didn't lose anyone themselves. So Warriors are the
champions. The smallest team.
Smallest team.
With the least number of wounds.
Yeah. They looked to be the strongest, and I think they just were, because the Dwarfs were tough to kill, but they weren't that good at killing themselves. But these guys are mental. I mean, and Cacophonic Choir as well. Cacophonic Choir's killed a lot of people over the course of this tournament.
Yeah, it's got one person in each one. I think the surprises for me, well, the Skaven were a surprise.
Skaven were great.
Didn't expect them in the final. I hoped the Vampires would do better with 3 ethereal troops.
They were really unlucky to go against Wood Elves.
They were lucky to go against Wood Elves and have a lot of magic shooting.
Yeah.
Beastmen was a bit of a shame to some extent because Shaman died. Both of them died essentially before they could do anything.
I should have thought about that. Maybe I could have hidden the Shaman a bit better or something.
Yeah. Dwarves I think was about expected, to be honest. They took a while to kill them.
Yeah. Basically, Dwarfs did what Dwarfs always do in all fantasy scenarios. Just die slowly.
Yeah.
Inevitably.
Yeah. In every story, in every scenario, in every battle, they just gradually die.
Apart from one battle in the end times when they got to beat Skaven.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah. At the end of Thanquil, they just all march out and say fuck it and kill the entire Skaven army.
So Vampires were just unlucky with the matchup, I think.
Yeah. Although they were always going to be against magic weapons.
And Demons were the only army to kill one of these guys, and that was with Infernal Gateway. Yeah.
So and this guy didn't suffer a single wound in all 3 battles he fought in.
No, that's correct. And he must have. I mean, I've lost count of how many people he's killed.
Yeah, he killed.
So he
the
killed
first
3
battle
heralds.
He killed 3 heralds. Yeah. That battle he killed 2 warlocks. He must have killed quite a few dark elves as well.
And in our last tournament we did, like the 1,000 point tournament, did Warriors win that? I think they did, didn't they?
Did, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, reigning champion still. Yeah, that was great though.
That was
really
fun.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, really good.
I'd like to try something
similar.
Similar again. Yeah. Right. Well, thanks all for watching, and I'll see you next time.